फोकस बराबर रहना चाहिए और सर का ये जो लोगो है इस पर बराबर है।
स्टार्ट।
तूने चालू किया वीडियो? So we have renowned coach Mr. Sandhu today with us on our channel, and we all know him. He's been coach to many of the professional bodybuilders, physique competitors. He need no introduction, and you can see him right now sitting in front of me. So we'll be like interviewing him. Let me ask some questions to him, relevant to fitness, and let's see what are his answers. But before that, we'll be making a small announcement on our channel. So let's hear from the horse's mouth itself. Harry ji.
Hi Mandeep, thank you for having me. The announcement is pretty simple. I think a lot of people already know about our show Boss Classic.
Right.
It starts on 21st of October, which is on Sunday, and 8 regional shows and 1 grand finale in Mumbai on 9th and 10th. The registrations are open, and the 2 winners of the grand finale will be sent to the US to compete in the IFBB Olympia Las Vegas for the pro card. Having said that, they can choose anywhere they want to go and compete. We will cover their expenses to an extent, but they can choose to go wherever they want to go. Besides that, it's open to everyone. Everyone is welcome. We've got judges coming from overseas. And all the information is on www.bossclassic.com, on our Instagram handles as well. So it's open to everyone. I encourage everyone to come and compete. It's a very fair show. The judging is world class. And
how do they register? I mean, they have to just log into their website or how?
Okay. The way to register is you go to log into the website at www.bossclassic.com.
Okay.
And we have 2 options. You can either click on register offline, or they can click on register online. So if they want to register offline, they can just send the information to us, and one of our team members will get the registration done. So
and do they need to be associated with some organization? Is it open?
Yes, absolutely. It's open to everyone. Anyone can compete, and not only that, anyone can go and compete anywhere after our show as well. So if they compete in our show and they win, next day they can go and compete in come to IFBB. They can go to IBBF. They can go to IBBFF, whatever federation they want to go to compete in. When we say we are by the athletes, for the athletes, we truly mean it. We are extremely non-restrictive. We don't stop. We're very inclusive, very non-restrictive. You can go anywhere you want. Open everything.
Wow. So that's a great news from the Harry Sandhu itself. And the other question I would like to ask Harry is that what motivates him, to do this kind of a show? I mean, what he see in today's bodybuilding, arena, so that he started this kind of show?
I think it's I've been in the industry for nearly 20 years, and the key reasons why I started the show was I would get a lot of messages, I would get a lot of feedback from people. The judging is not proper. The shows are very restrictive. If I go and compete in another federation, they won't let me go back and compete in that federation. And what was happening? Only the top guys were winning the prize money. India's top bodybuilders are consistently winning the shows which have any prize money. So all these lower to middle class to even upper middle bodybuilders, they're great. They also deserve to win some prize money. So to say that, you can come and win prize money with us, sure. But to get to that level, you have to spend 10 years before you get there.
Right.
And bodybuilding is not cheap. So the vision, the dream was to create something that is open and no nonsense. There is full transparency. That's exactly right. And they should get rewarded for their efforts. You come, you compete, you get, our first show was in March. Okay, we gave nearly 25 lakhs in cash prizes, and all the cash prizes were given within 10 to 12 days, and that's unheard of. We gave every single cent that we promised. So that's what motivates. I truly wanted to create an open platform. We were the first show in the Indian bodybuilding history, independent show, that went ahead and did the show outside the expos. We did a show in an auditorium. So no show outside the federation have done that. no show outside the federations had got bodybuilding in their shows. We were the no body power, no Jurai, nothing. Nobody had bodybuilding. We were the first show started. Now everyone's getting bodybuilding in down, they're even open as well, outside the expos as well. So that makes me, and none of it is possible without my team. I'm not the only person. I've got 5 other people in my team as well. They're all in this together. People like Ashish from Jaipur, Ashish Dixit, and Nilesh Brahmaj from Bombay, Haminder Dillowal is from Punjab, Abhishek and Vinay Jain from Chandigarh, Videsh is from Goa, Tarek is also from Goa, Arun Bhattacharya is from Bangalore. So you've got a very diverse team, and that's
almost all, Indian, right?
Yes.
And another thing I would like to ask you, Harry, is when these registrations will be shut down. I mean, on your website. So is it like a limit, a day or time or something like that?
Yes, there is with the regional shows. What I would encourage you, registration is open till last day of the regional shows, right? So if the show is on Sunday, you can register on the spot as well. However, I would strongly recommend all the athletes, even if you're going to come and register on the day, you're going to come and let us know at least 3-4 days in advance that, hey, I'm planning to compete in your show, check with us, right? Because it is, and I made it clear, we will only take the categories ahead if there are more than 4 or above competitors. If there are less than 4, then it compromises the integrity of the show. Like today, one of the competitors, she was the only one up on stage. Nobody wants to win just being the only person up on stage. You know what I mean? It just makes mockery of the show. So we make it very clear, we want our shows to be quality shows. That means minimum 4 competitors. If it's less than 4, we will refund their money. We will give them an opportunity to compete in a higher or lower class, whatever else, the very best they can fit in. But yes, with the finals, the qualifiers on Saturday, 9th of February, the registrations will close by 5th to 6th of February. No question about it. We will not take any
final show, if I remember, you said the 25th?
No, 9th and 10th of February in Mumbai.
In Mumbai.
Yes.
Okay, great. And what are the registration charges for that?
Registration charges for the smaller cities or cities where we believe, based on the feedback, say cities like Calcutta and Ahmedabad, these kind of cities, Jaipur, the registration charge is 3,250 per single category for the one category. Second category is just an additional $1,000 rupees, not dollars. And for the Mumbai show, it's 7,999 for one category. And then it's just if you want to compete in 2, then it's a little bit more, But the regional registrations are between 3,250 to 4,250.
And since you mentioned category, so is it necessary that they have to register themselves in one category, or they can compete into other different categories?
I think that's a great question, Mandeep, and something that people, you can split people. People say, you shouldn't allow people to compete in more than one category. No, I strongly disagree with that, and I'll tell you why. We are allowing people to compete in as many categories as you want. Okay? If you're good enough, you're good enough. I'll give an example. Let's take an example of somebody like, say, Jeremy Bowen, okay? Or you take someone example like, say, Logan Franklin. So people like Logan Franklin, Jeremy Bowen, they are so good, they can easily win multiple cases. So you take someone like Logan Franklin, he's not only competitive in men's physique, he's also extremely competitive in classic physique because he's got the legs. Now you take him and put him in a stage show, he'll be very competitive in bodybuilding as well. So to say that you shouldn't allow a person to go compete in more than multiple categories, no, I think that is hard. That is completely unfair. Having said that, if a person wins classic physique, I can guarantee you he won't place top 10 in male fitness model. Yeah, he can compete in male fitness model, but if you're good enough to win in 90 kilos on stage, you can't expect to come and win male fitness model. However, you could win classic physique, you could even win bodybuilding. There's someone like Sunil Jadhav, okay? He's good enough to win not only bodybuilding but classic physique as well. But on the other hand, if you take someone like Yutinder Singh, it would be an uphill battle for him to be competitive in classic physique just because of the structure. Like Ronnie Coleman couldn't be a classic physique competitor. You know what I mean? Frank Zane could be a classic physique competitor and a bodybuilder, same with Arnold. So it's just because somebody's able to do a multiple category doesn't make him a lesser or better. It's horses for courses. So Yes, you can.
Yeah, so I completely agree with him, and because it's not a race wherein you're running and who's ever first and they win. So it's kind of if there are 10 competitors on the stage,
Hit the criteria.
yeah. So they are bodybuilders, they are classic physique bodybuilders, they are physique competitors. But the thing is, it's upon the judges. If they think the symmetry, the posing routines, and everything, it's on par with whatever the factors may be. Yeah. So that particular male or female will win. So it's not a sport wherein you can just showcase that you have a good endurance or a good power. It's not a power strength or these kind of sports. So completely agree with him. And somebody who is at number 1 in classic, he will not actually try to participate maybe next time in physique because he knows that his body is capable of winning a classic physique competition. So completely agree with you, sir. And the other thing I would like to ask you, not the last one, but that if somebody is lacking, I mean, I've not seen till now wherein people give feedback once the show is over. I mean, once they have already decided 1, 2 and 3, probably the other the competitors, they just go home and maybe they are motivated, demotivated, whatever the case may be, depends upon person to person. But is there any chance we can bring up something, it's kind of feedback, or you can assume anything, that we can bring up something, some platform wherein somebody can tell them this was their mistake, maybe a routine or symmetry or maybe something else?
I think that's a great question. That's a very relevant question. I'll give you a little bit of a background with it, why that is actually not done in shows. And this is not to say that we won't be doing it.
Right.
I'll tell you why. See, what happens if it's a show like this, like say if you have a huge show, so you've got 40 competitors and you're going to have 40, 50 competitors in every class, it virtually, the time constraints are so stringent that it's virtually impossible to write things down about every single competitor.
Right.
Top 5 competitors, you can. Right? The guy who comes second or guy who comes third or fourth or fifth, you can give them feedback. Smaller shows like regional shows, we will try to give feedback. So if we've only got 100, 150 competitors,
well, probably they should ask. I mean, once the show is over, they should actually approach one of the judges or maybe the other people.
Even sometimes approaching the judges doesn't work. Otherwise, you've got 600 competitors on the day. It's virtually impossible. You know what? The thing is, this is the thing. We don't want to do anything that's bullshit. Right. You want feedback, we can give you good feedback. I can give you, you need to work on your delts, you can cook up some bullshit. Your tan was off, or your posing, you can make some bullshit up. It's like people doing drug-tested shows. Right. Drug-tested shows don't fucking work. Right. They don't work in subcontinental countries because there are so many designer drugs in the market. They're so readily available, things like peptides, things like growth hormones, things like SARMs. They are not detectable in your urine. And to conduct a proper doping test,
and everything has a life
expiry date. Yes.
Expiry date.
It gets out of your system at some stage.
Right.
So to say that these are drug tested shows, no, people have asked me, is your show going to be drug tested? Is there any advantage, any priority given to national competitors? You know what? Unfortunately, no. The physique that's best up on stage is going to win. If that person is jacked up his eyeballs, you know what? Good luck to him. The playing field is same for everyone. We're not discriminating against the guys doing juice, we're not discriminating guys doing natural. You want to be natural, more power to you, that's your choice. We're not asking you to jump on drugs, but don't come and have a go at we're not supporting natural bodybuilding. I would if the drug testing became foolproof. It wasn't an eye wash. You take the urine and then you're throwing it down the toilet. It's an eye wash. I don't want to do eye wash. We have very strong credibility. We have very strong integrity. What we say we do. If we can't do something 100% right, I will just simply say, you know what, it's nonsense. I'm not fucking doing it.
Right.
So, and when it comes to criteria, smaller shows we can. If you bring your video, you bring somebody along with you, they take a professional video of you, or you can access our video, our videos that whatever we should be up on the website. You can send us a video, we can forward that to the judges, and then we can give you feedback. Okay, this is where you missed out. But if for every competitor to expect proper feedback, I can't promise
I mean,
something
they
that
can
I can't
actually
deliver.
go back to the coaches because they'll be present on the day.
And you know
Maybe
what?
they can show the
And
videos.
you know what? A lot of times you actually know. The guys
Right.
are also top 10, you know. You just don't have enough size, so you're too thick. With men's physique, guys, I know some of you guys have great physiques, but they don't belong in men's physiques. You know, a lot of people complain, oh, he won over me, but he's like one much smaller than me. It doesn't matter how much smaller somebody is. If your waist is this wide and you're built like a fucking house, you're not going to win. A guy who's got a tiny waist and got a broad back and his presentation is great, he is always going to win over somebody who might be even 5 or 6 or 10 kilos bigger. So it's not about being the biggest. This is not the race for elephant is the biggest animal in the kingdom. It's not the king of the jungle. You know what I mean? So this is something I want to clarify.
And so last question to Mr. Harry. What do you think India is taking, this bodybuilding or maybe fitness or physique, paths to? I mean, is it right? It's right on the path, or it's like deviated from the path? We have seen, from the past, say, 4 to 5 years, it's booming in India. But do you think it's on the right track, or it needs some amendments?
Oh, look, I think it definitely needs some amendments. I think the biggest amendment, I think everyone talks about it. I don't want to keep going around in circles because everyone talks about it. Look, people need to separate fitness with competition. Fitness is something different. Competition is something different. Fitness is being healthy, having, increasing the longevity of life, increasing the quality of your life. Fitness is different. Fitness is just making sure that your liver values are great, your kidney values are great, your heart health is great, your libido is good, your sex drive is great. That's health. That is fitness. Right. Competition is competition. You take all these guys who compete, their liver values is good, their kidney values is good. Bodybuilding is not a healthy sport. That's just the bottom line. Bodybuilding lifestyle is healthy, but compared to bodybuilding is not healthy. So unless you're going to get up on stage and compete, you shouldn't be popping drugs. You shouldn't be taking drugs just to look great.
Aesthetically.
Aesthetically, I think it's the dumbest thing you can do. Okay, taking a small dosage for HRT purposes, for TRT purposes is one thing. Right. You're trying to make a correction in your hormones. But to sort of look like a competitor up on stage, these guys are different. The guys who are getting up on stage, they're running a different race. And anyone who wants to, I think I've said it before also, spend 3 to 5 years in the gym. Once you have spent few years, you know this is your true calling, you can see some results, and you know taking drugs is going to get you something, sure. You have to. And as I said, I don't make the rules, I don't make the laws, nobody makes the rules. These are the rules of the game. You like it, you play it, you don't like it, leave. So I think overall, yes, the industry is heading in the right direction, but people need to learn to make a clear distinction between being healthy and looking great. There is nothing healthy about being shredded to the bone at 6%, 5% on stage. There is nothing healthy. That's the time they're the unhealthiest. Right. A person who's on stage, that lean, looking like a Greek god, that's the healthiest. That's the unhealthiest because they're dehydrated, they've taken all sorts of diuretics, they've taken all sorts of drugs and all that. And guys, stop fucking taking AMP and PGCL or whatever the fuck that is. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything. It's just addictive shit. It's just dumb. Stop putting shit in your body that doesn't do anything. It just causes more harm than good.
And people can consult, I think, Harry.
Hey, sure.
They can message him on Instagram. They can send him an email. Maybe I think on your website also you might have some link about contact us. So you can always contact Harry about that, and he provides professional coaching, right?
Yeah.
So at a time, how many participants or the contestants you can take? If somebody is one.
Man, look, at any given time, I have nearly 200 athletes under me at any given time. So they all compete. Like today alone, I had 8 athletes compete. So there's people always competing all over the world. I had 2 girls in Australia. I had one
it's
in
offline, online?
Everything's offline. I don't do, online. I don't do offline anymore. Okay. I haven't done one-on-one for a long time. Everything is online. Majority of my clients are all competitors or trainers themselves. It makes my life a lot easier. Right. So all online coaching.
Wow. So we heard him right, and just follow the tricks and trades what he told you. And if you have any questions regarding the boss class registration, or maybe if you want to ask maybe a silly question, which for you it might be silly, but there could be a scientific explanation to that. So you can actually check Harry's website, Boss Classic, and you can just drop him a message. Team will respond to you, and please do the registration by 5th or 6th, last date.
Yeah, for the finals, 5th or 6th. And also I want to add, if you win your regional show, you directly qualify to the finals on Sunday on 10th of February. Otherwise, if you go directly to come to Bombay, you're welcome. Many people are doing it. You will have to compete on Saturday in order to qualify for a Sunday show. There is no direct qualification for Sunday. You have to do a qualifier like what happens in pre-judging here. The top 10, 15, 20 will get to the next day. So if you want to give yourself the best chance to get on stage on Sunday, 10th of February, do the regional shows. Regional shows also have prize money as well. Okay? So all our shows have prize monies. All our shows have cash prizes. So do the regional shows. If you win, then you don't have to stress about getting up on stage on Saturday trying to qualify for a Sunday show. You directly get to stage on Sunday.
Wow. So, we have Harry on our channel, and you heard him right. He clarified each and every question regarding the show, regarding bodybuilding, regarding Indians bodybuilding. So thank you, Harry. Thank you for being on.